Welcome to the deep dive. We are actually skipping the standard intro today to get you straight into the good stuff because, honestly, the stack of reports we have is just massive.
Yeah, we have a lot of ground to cover today.
Right. So our mission today is unpacking this incredibly complex web of our recent geopolitical reports, military intelligence, and legal analyses. We're looking at the rising tensions between Thailand and Cambodia and how those localized events connect to, well, some really massive global shifts.
And, before we jump into the details,
Uh-huh.
I think we should just explicitly state our position here. Because these sources deal with highly sensitive border disputes and international relations. Our goal is purely to report the facts and perspectives contained in these materials impartially.
Exactly. We are absolutely not taking a side or endorsing any specific nation's actions. We're just laying out the intelligence as it's been reported.
Right, just connecting the dots.
And the dots are wild. I mean, we are going to connect secret tank deliveries arriving in the dead of night, mystical amulets being handed out to soldiers, a super rare international maritime law mechanism, and a surprise peace deal between the U.S. and Iran.
It sounds like a spy thriller, but it's really just modern geopolitics at work.
Yeah, it really does. So, let's start right where the tension is the most visible, which is the muddy ground of the Thai-Cambodian border.
The physical staging ground.
Right. So, looking at the reports, Cambodia is currently undergoing a pretty significant military buildup. Specifically, they're getting a steady stream of weapons from China. The intelligence highlights a total delivery of 93 T59D tanks.
That's a lot of heavy armor.
It is. And the first lot was 39 tanks, and a second lot recently arrived at the Sihanoukville Port. But the really interesting part is how they're handling these deliveries now.
Yeah, the logistics shifted.
Because initially, there was a ton of public backlash from Thailand over that first shipment. So now, according to the sources, Chinese freighters have actually started disguising the cargo to hide the weapons. They are unloading this stuff under the cover of night.
Which is fascinating because, you can't exactly hide a main battle tank easily. But it shows they are highly aware of the optics.
Oh, for sure. And on the ground, it gets even more intense. Cambodian troops are actively digging massive tank trenches just 6 kilometers from the Preah Vihear Temple.
Right.
They are essentially creating these huge dirt walls to protect their armor against potential airstrikes and shrapnel.
And when you start digging anti-airstrike trenches, that is a highly specific defensive posture. You don't do that unless you are preparing for a severe kinetic escalation.
Exactly. But then you look at Thailand's response, and publicly, it's totally different. Thai Prime Minister Anutin Charnvirakul publicly downplayed the whole threat. He basically stated that, what Cambodia does in its own territory is its own business.
Publicly, yes. But privately.
Right. Behind the scenes, the Thai military is highly active. The Thai Second Army area has been heavily inspecting Prasat Khana to prevent any encroachment.
They're fortifying their lines.
Oh, aggressively. They actually destroyed a wooden staircase that was previously used by Cambodians to cross over. They burned it down from 450 meters to just 200 meters, and then they laid down double layers of barbed wire.
Wow. So they're literally burning bridges or stairs in this case.
Yeah. And the Thai Fine Arts Department is even stepping in to study and preserve artifacts in the area, like there's a Garuda figure in 28 stone slabs. It's like they're trying to save the cultural heritage before a conflict breaks out.
And you mentioned the amulets earlier, too.
Yes. To boost morale, the Thai commander actually handed out Hanuman Fang Rit amulets to the troops. These are traditional talismans meant to bring wealth and victory. So I guess my thought here is, it feels like two neighbors smiling over the fence saying everything is fine, while one is building a concrete bunker and the other is laying down barbed wire. I mean, is this just standard border paranoia, or is there a bigger reason for this sudden militarization?
Well, it's definitely the latter. While the physical actions like burning the stairs and digging the dirt trenches seem hyper-local, they're actually symptoms of a much larger geopolitical game.
The superpower proxy game.
Exactly. If we zoom out and look at the puppet strings, we see the global superpowers at work. China isn't giving Cambodia multi-million-dollar tanks out of the goodness of its heart.
Right, obviously not.
They operate under a 2+2 policy, which integrates defense and foreign affairs. China provides these weapons essentially for free or heavily subsidized, and in exchange, they get access to Cambodia's Ream naval base.
Okay, wait, let me just jump in here, because this started under the former leader, Hun Sen, right? And it's continuing under the current Cambodian PM, Hun Min.
That's correct. It's a long-term strategic play for Beijing.
But wait, if we look at Thailand's side, Thailand leans slightly more toward the United States, right? And
Yeah.
Thailand actually has to pay for its weapons.
Yes, exactly.
They use the U.S. Foreign Military Sales Program, the FMS, to buy Stryker armored vehicles, so Cambodia gets free tanks while Thailand has to buy its gear. It sounds like these two nations are just proxies in a tug-of-war between the U.S. and China.
That is a very accurate way to frame it. Superpowers primarily act on their own interests. They don't mind utilizing smaller nations to gain a foothold in a critical region.
Which explains why Thai intelligence is tracking those disguised Chinese freighters so closely.
Exactly. Thailand and Cambodia are just trying to navigate this incredibly delicate balance. But honestly, the border trenches and the tanks, they are somewhat of a distraction.
Right, the real prize isn't on the land at all.
No, it's not. The actual prize driving these regional tensions lies hidden beneath the ocean.
Which brings us to the maritime dispute. Thailand and Cambodia are locked in this massive disagreement over their ocean borders. But instead of fighting over it kinetically, they are utilizing a mechanism under the UN Convention on the Law of the Sea.
UNCLS.
Right, UNCLOS. They are convening a conciliation commission.
And we really need to emphasize how incredibly rare this is.
Oh, historically rare.
Yeah, this mechanism has only been used once before in history between East Timor and Australia. So seeing it deployed here is a massive deal.
And the process is fascinating. So both sides get to select two experts. Thailand chose Professor Wolfram and Albert Hoffman.
Right.
And then those four delegates have exactly 1 month to pick a neutral chairperson. Once that's done, they have 1 year to listen to arguments and issue a report. But, and this is the crazy part to me, the report is completely non-binding.
Right, it doesn't have strict legal teeth.
So why do it?
Because it carries immense reputational weight. Like with East Timor and Australia, multinational companies need predictability. They won't invest billions in offshore drilling if the territory is actively disputed. The Commission's report creates enough diplomatic consensus to essentially unlock those capital markets.
Ah, okay, that makes sense. But the legal debate they're having inside this commission is what's really wild. Historically, if two countries had overlapping ocean claims, you just draw a line straight down the middle, right? The equal distance rule.
Right, traditional surface geometry.
But UNCLOS introduces this concept of an equitable solution, meaning the border isn't just about geography anymore, it's about fairly dividing natural resources, specifically underwater oil and gas.
Exactly.
So just to visualize this for you listening, it's not like cutting a pizza perfectly in half with a straight line. It's more like cutting the pizza so that both people get the exact same amount of pepperoni, even if the line ends up completely zigzagged.
I love that analogy. That is exactly what an equitable solution is. And it's why the stakes are so phenomenally high here.
Because the line could really shift.
Oh, absolutely. To ensure Cambodia gets a fair or equitable share of the underwater oil wealth, that borderline might actually encroach much closer to Thailand's shore than traditional equal distance would ever allow.
Wow.
The economic reality of those resources is what truly dictates the negotiations. The law is just the framework.
So maritime law and the control of these resources, it's not just a Southeast Asian issue. It's literally rewriting the map everywhere. Which brings us to a massive global development found in the sources, moving us from the Gulf of Thailand to the Middle East.
The U.S.-Iran situation.
Yes. According to the reports, U.S. President Donald Trump announced a historic peace agreement with Iran, which effectively ends months of intense, globally disruptive conflict.
And this was heavily mediated by third parties, correct?
Yeah, the deal was heavily mediated by Pakistan and Qatar, and the official signing is set to take place in Switzerland on June 19. But the core of this entire peace deal directly ties back to what we were just talking about, maritime law.
Specifically, the Strait of Hormuz.
Exactly. Under UNCLOS, international straits that are used for navigation simply cannot be blocked, and no nation is allowed to charge tolls just for ships passing through.
Which is the bedrock of global trade. Freedom of the seas.
Right. But Iran had previously tried to disguise illegal tolls as security fees. They were basically weaponizing that maritime choke point.
And that triggered a severe response.
It did. But now, as part of this new agreement, the U.S. is taking the first step by lifting its naval blockade. This instantly allows commercial ships and oil tankers to pass freely again.
The immediate restoration of those maritime norms.
Yes. And in return for that, the two nations are going to enter a 60-day negotiation period. The goals there are huge. Lifting all the economic sanctions, unfreezing billions in overseas assets, and finally resolving the strict limitations on Iran's nuclear program.
It's a total de-escalation.
It really is. And it's awe-inspiring when you think about the whiplash of global events here. I mean,
Yeah.
we just went from dirt trenches in the Cambodian jungle to a historic U.S.-Iran peace deal in Switzerland.
But the architecture is the same.
Exactly. The connecting thread is ENCLRS. It all comes down to who gets to sail where and who controls the resources underneath.
Yeah, whether it's Chinese freighters navigating into Cambodia at night or commercial oil tankers passing freely through the Strait of Hormuz, international maritime law is the invisible scaffolding holding the entire global economy together.
That is perfectly said. So let's just recap the journey we took today because we covered a lot of ground. We started with localized border posturing amulets and barbed wire, moved through the superpower proxy games with tanks and naval bases, into the high-stakes legal battles over offshore oil, and finally arrived at a historic unblocking of the Strait of Hormuz.
It's all interconnected.
It is. And for you listening, you might be wondering, why does this matter to me? Why care about an invisible line in the Gulf of Thailand or a shipping lane in the Middle East? Because the price of the gas in your car, the cost of the electronics you buy, and the general stability of the world hinge entirely on these invisible lines drawn in the ocean.
And those quiet deals brokered in back rooms.
Exactly. But before we wrap up, there is one final, incredibly provocative concept buried in the UNCLO sources that we have to talk about.
Oh, the common heritage of mankind.
Yes. Explain what that means, because it completely changes the dynamic.
So the UNCLOS framework includes this philosophical idea that the resources found in deep international waters, the deep seabed, belong to everyone, to humanity as a whole.
Not just the country with the closest beach.
Right, or the superpower with the biggest submarine. They cannot be claimed by any single nation. But as technology advances, superpowers like the US and China are in a desperate race to secure rare earth minerals for future technology.
Like quantum computing and advanced batteries.
Exactly. So the question becomes, what happens when this intense geopolitical battleground shifts from coastal oil lines, which we are fighting over today, to the very bottom of the deep ocean where no one's borders reach?
Wow. When trillions of dollars of untouched minerals are sitting in international waters, someone is going to try to claim them, regardless of the common heritage rule.
History certainly suggests they will try.
Yeah, it's a completely new frontier for conflict. Well, that is definitely something to chew on. Keep questioning the world around you. Keep looking for those invisible lines that shape our reality, and we will catch you on the next deep dive.